Hello and welcome again to another day of classes. Today we're going to be continuing with the rest of Unit 7, and in the previous class we were discussing environmental problems and looking at the passive with prepositions. Today we're going to be continuing with comparing solutions to social problems. First we talk about the environmental problems, now we're talking about social problems, okay? And as I was telling in the end of the previous video, we were gonna be looking at this word power, the global changes. These are different problems, but they are not only environmental problems, but social problems, okay? So let's look at these problems. Unemployment, famine, global warming, government corruption, infectious diseases, political unrest, poverty, recession, and violence. How concerned are you of these problems? Are you very concerned? Are you fairly concerned? Just a bit, not too much? Or you're not concerned? Please take your time and you can, comment it on the comment box down below. What do you feel? How do you feel about these different problems? Okay. If you remember from the previous class, we can know the different definitions for each one of them. Okay. I hope that you remember. Okay. Now let's go to this conversation right here. What if it doesn't work? We're going to be listening to both part A and C. And after listening to both parts, we're going to be answering this question. What do Cindy and Otis decide to do about this problem, okay? Okay, so let's listen and then we're going to check for that answer, okay? Okay, let's listen.
Page 47. Exercise 7. Conversation. What if it doesn't work? Part A. Listen and practice.
Did you hear about the dead fish that were found floating in the Bush River this morning?
Yeah, I read something about it. Do you know what happened?
Well, there's a factory outside town that's pumping chemicals into the river.
How can they do that? Isn't that against the law?
Yes, it is, but a lot of companies ignore those laws.
That's terrible. What can we do about it?
Well, one way to change things is to talk to the company's management.
What if that doesn't work?
Well, then another way to stop them is to get a news station to run a story on it.
Yes. Companies hate bad publicity. By the way, what's the name of this company?
Believe it or not, it's called Green Mission Industries.
Really? My uncle is one of their top executives.
Page 47. Exercise 7. Part C. Listen to the rest of the conversation. What do Cindy and Otis decide to do?
Wait a minute. Before we do anything, shouldn't we make sure that we've got our facts straight?
Absolutely. The best thing to do is to monitor the situation over the next couple of weeks to see what exactly is happening.
How do we do that?
Well, we can take pictures of the river and even take water samples to see how bad the situation is. We can get some friends to help.
Okay. And then maybe I should talk to my uncle about it.
That would be fantastic.
Okay, very good. Really interesting. This one is sort of an environmental problem, like mixed with the social problems with the waste and stuff. But did you get the answer for this question? What did Cindy and Otis decide to do? If you did, let's check. They decide to monitor the situation by taking pictures of the river and taking water samples to see how bad the situation is, basically. Okay, if you have this answer, very good. You have a good listening. Okay, let's go straight into the grammar focus for today. And this one is gonna be infinitive clauses infinitive clauses and phrases, okay? This is going to be interesting. As always, I have, some type of material. This was from the previous class. Okay, so here we have it. Infinitive clauses and phrases. Let's start by reading these examples. One way to change things is to talk to the company's management. Another way to stop them is to get a news station to run a story. The best ways to fight unemployment are to create more jobs and invest in educations. By looking at this, we have a lot of infinitives. Okay, the form of be that follows the first infinitive must agree with the subject. The best way to reduce pollution is to improve public transportation. But the best ways to reduce homelessness are to build more public housing and provide free health care. Okay? So, something that needs to follow this is that if you're talking about one thing, you need to use is. If you're talking about multiple things, you need to use are. That's why one way to change things is, another way to stop them is, but the best ways to fight unemployment are to create more jobs and invest in education. Basically, this is using infinitives to form a clause and then use infinitive to talk about it. Okay, let's see this. Using infinitives, to plus the verb, to eat, to jump, to see, to etc. Using infinitives to describe how to do something. Okay, one way, some key phrases that we use: one way, another way, the best way, a better way, one of the ways, one of the options, etc. To eat, to see, to whatever. Is, it's actually the verb be because it's, way, if it's plural, you need to use are. Then another infinitive. Basically, it's using one of these phrases: one way, another way, the best way, etc. An infinitive, verb be, an infinitive. Okay? First, we start with describing the situation, and then we describe how to do it. One way to make your phone louder is to put it in a bowl. One of the ways to make your phone louder is to put it in a bowl. Okay? Very good. How can I peel a kiwi? This is the thing that we want to learn, how to do this. One way to peel, this is the first infinitive, a kiwi is, the verb be, to use a spoon. Okay? How can I keep the straw in the can? One way to keep the straw in the can is to put it through that little hole. Okay? You see, this is actually quite easy. It's just basically using the infinitive 2 times. But before the second time, when we start saying how to do the thing, you need to use the verb be, depending on if it's singular or plural. Okay? Very good. I hope that you understand this, and I know you do. You're really intelligent. Okay, very good. So now that we see this, it's really simple. One way to change the first infinitive things is the verb be, to talk to the company's management. We're using this to explain how to do things or give it the solutions. Okay, so look at this. Find one or more solutions for each problem. Then compare with a partner. We have no partner, so we can compare with each other. Okay, so we have different problems and different solutions. The best way to fight poverty is, the one way to reduce government corruption is, one way to reduce unemployment is, and when we have solutions to provide more affordable housing, to create more jobs, etc., etc., etc. And there might be different solutions to different problems. For example, the best way to fight poverty is to provide more affordable housing that can be, or to create more jobs. One way to reduce government corruption is to make politicians accountable for decisions. That's one of the solutions. The one way to reduce unemployment is to create more jobs, actually. The best way to stop global warming is, to increase the use of cleaner energy. See, there are different ways to use this. You can comment your answers down below. Okay, let's continue. Let's look at this reading. That is going to be the last thing for today. It's going to be a short video, but it's going to be a fun one, okay? Turning an invasion into an advantage. This is the lionfish. This is something that is really, really, really interesting. So take your time to read all of this, okay? Turning an invasion into an advantage. Take your time to read this part here. Then continue reading this part here. And then finish with this part here. It was a really interesting thing, right? Okay, now let's complete these questions. Let's answer them. After reading the article that you just did, you're gonna answer these questions, okay? Why are lionfish a concern? Why is it important to protect the area around St. Lucia? What characteristics makes the lionfish hard to control? What solutions have the islanders come up with? What have the result of the islanders' efforts been? Okay, you got the answer for these questions? You did? Okay, let's check. Well, for the first one, why are the lionfish a concern? The lionfish are a concern because they can destroy the natural habitat, coral reefs, by eating, or their natural habitat or coral reefs by eating the native fish that maintain the reefs. Okay. Number two, why is it important to protect the area around St. Lucia? St. Lucia has many coral reefs that tourists enjoy. Number three, what characteristic makes the lionfish hard to control? They reproduce very quickly. That's why. Number four, what solutions have the islanders come up with? They have encouraged both tourists and locals to catch and eat the lionfish. Okay, basically to hunt it, to kill it. And number five, what have the results of the islanders' efforts been? They have slowed the growth of the lionfish population, though they haven't solved the problem yet. Okay? If you have these answers, very good. Okay, I hope that you liked the video for today, the class for today. It was a short one, but it was an interesting one, especially because of the grammar focus for today, the infinitive clauses and phrases. This is something really used in English, and I hope that you understand it and like it. But that's been everything for today. I hope that you look forward for the next unit. That's gonna be the unit 8. And well, that's everything. So see you in the next time. Bye.